want to welcome everybody this afternoon to the last panel of this year's festival. As you can see, we've lost Quentin Tarantino along the way, but
No-Show Tarantino. His new name around here. Faculty?
Maybe it was
you were
faculty,
leaving on.
yeah.
You were going somewhere right after it's your birthday or something. I gave you a book, Peter's book, Easy Riders Raging Bulls. If you guys haven't read this book, it's a great trip through the 70s of filmmaking. And so I think I wrote on the thing, Robert, happy birthday, whatever. I feel so normal in comparison to these. We're so normal or something in comparison to these guys. So let's talk about 70s movies for this panel. You guys want to do that? Okay. So if you haven't read that book, check it out. It's fun.
Yeah, it's pretty wild stories about the directors of that time, and I don't know, we feel like Brady Bunch frauds compared to those guys. I mean, it's really,
well,
it's really strange.
the advantage of being a Brady Bunch fraud is you may have like a career that lasts 10 or 20 years instead of like 10 or 20 days. You know?
But they did make some good movies.
They did make some good movies while they were doing it. Yeah.
Right. So, okay. Technology.
What do you guys want to talk about? That's what I want to
cinema.
know. I always try to find out what you guys want to talk about, because how many of you here have even shot a film on film? Because I think we might have a lot of digital heads here. How many of you are into DV, mini DV, and digital, everything digital? Hey, it's almost a split. Well, how many people do you think we have here? I think at the end of this, I'm going to show something that'll convince everyone here that film is dead and that high def is the future. I mean, I've got something I'll show you in a little while that you have to hold your hands like this because your jaw will drop down. And,
Yeah, I have a question for everyone. How many of you here want to be distributors? Want
That's
to
the
work in
question you've
distribution?
asked since
Independent distribution. See, this is the problem. I see a couple hands hesitant. How many want to be filmmakers? Yeah, everybody. Okay. I was just at Sundance. I'm just going to declare this right now. This is a big problem in the world we're all trying to create here. There's a ton of films. There's great filmmakers everywhere making movies, exciting stuff. There's no one who wants to show them. There's no theaters to show them in. And I'm just dropping a seed out here. If any of you decide maybe you're not a director or producer, or you love film and you want to dedicate your life to it, start a company that'll distribute these things. It's not brain surgery. There's 20 theaters in the country, maybe 40. There's a few cities. You get a publicist, you run some ads, you put it in the paper, and the next thing you know,
you're the
boom.
Weinsteins.
Next thing you know, everyone's working for you. You know, you make all the money. Right? I mean, the Weinsteins were filmmakers, right? The Weinsteins were filmmakers. They just kind of on the market, like that was open for being acquired. I knew who my distributor was for like the last 10 years. But I just met with distributors. It's the same people it was 10 years ago. These guys are 10 years older. There's a new generation of filmmakers. There's all these films. And these guys are getting a little older. They're more successful too. They've had these huge films. Their bar is higher. There's a whole area here that I think people should seriously attack. I mean, we don't have anyone but ourselves to blame if this niche just disappears, and I think it's a crisis. But that's what's been on my mind since Sundance.
Well, I was at Sundance also, and it's true that most of the best films did not get picked up at Sundance because each one presented a problem for a distributor, a marketing problem. And the films that were picked up were, in many cases, the least interesting films at the festival.
It's always like that, because there's some that seem to be kind of genre films. They kind of seem like a real movie, and those are the films that get picked up, and sometimes they overpay for them.
Technologically, getting into film has always been such a big deal. I mean, when I was making movies on video, people would always say, "Oh, when are you going to shoot on film, though? It's not a real movie till it's done on film." And now with the high-definition cameras that are coming out, you'll be able to shoot movies like you are with your mini DVs, but on high def, which looks better than regular feature films. And so it won't be an issue of quality anymore. It'll just be intellectual property. It'll just be the idea. So you'll be free to make a movie in your backyard that looks as good as or better than movies that are in theaters, yet make it about anything you want. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty scary. I mean, the difference, everyone says digital, but there's a big difference between the different digital formats. I mean, high definition makes mini DV look like pixel cam. I mean, there's a huge quality difference between them, yet the principles are basically the same. The tape that goes into a high-def camera costs $75. It's an hour of footage, and it looks better than anything you'll see in the theater right now. And I only know because I just saw it and shot it myself to make sure before I said anything about it. But I think that's going to be a revolution, not 5 years, not 10 years, but now.
Yeah, one of my films at Sundance, Tape, was shot digitally on the mini DV camera, PAL, you know, the consumer model. And I was getting asked a lot of questions like, oh, you know, this is great, this mini DV, and I was going, nah, nah. When I shot this film last spring, and I was checking into 24p at that time, high def, and it was like at that point there were two cameras out there, like Lucas had one and Wim Wenders had the other. You know, you couldn't get your hands on it. I was like, damn. So I shot this thing mini DV, and it's like, it was weird to be in this technology knowing that it was the end of something. Like I'm shooting like the last, you know, it was like, oh, I'm just missing the new technology. It felt like you know, however high tech you feel, you're still a step behind. So when people are all enthusiastic about shooting mini DV, I said, you know, this is already old. This look, you're gonna look back and you're gonna say, oh yeah, in the late 90s, early, you know, 2000s, there were films kind of looked like this for a couple years when people actually shot them like this. But I think the total future is 24p, high def, and once there are consumer model cameras, those cameras are still pretty expensive, but once the prices of those come down, and you know, I think that's something to get excited about.
Yeah.